And the only way, right? You know what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And since you don't know me, you can't really say that about me. And the only way I let that get under my skin is if at any given moment I begin to think that about myself, and I will never, ever think that about myself.
Yes, sir.
So I'm telling you, young man, don't ever let that get under your skin, because that's not you,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
People
Right
versus
from the
Darius
start,
Harris.
this hearing feels less like a routine sentencing and more like a lesson in accountability.
Harris.
Darius Harris is about to explain
State
what
your name
led
for the
to his
record.
actions,
Darius
and the
Harris.
judge is giving him one final
Your Honor, this
opportunity
time
to
and date set
speak
up for
before the
sentencing. I
sentence
have
is
reviewed the
imposed. Pay
pre-sentence
close attention,
investigation with
because
the
the
client.
judge's
We have no
response is
material
about to take
changes,
an
additions,
unexpected
or
turn.
omissions.
Court does call the case, People versus Darius Harris.
Bridget Coons on behalf of Mr. Harris. State your name for the record.
Darius Harris.
Your Honor, this time and date set up for sentencing. I have reviewed the pre-sentence investigation with the client. We have no material changes, additions, or omissions. At this time, we would ask the court to adopt the recommendation.
Sir, is there anything you'd like to tell me before I do impose sentence?
Yes, sir. I just want to say to the court, prosecutor, I appreciate taking your time out. When I first came up here, I don't know if you remember, I told you I wasn't trying, I was guilty. Not a bad person or a bad guy. Everybody got a pass, but I just think a racial slur directed to me got under my skin and got the best of me. Apologize about wasting your time, because that's something I could have handled better, but it just got under my skin. I truly apologize.
I think I told you I didn't think of you necessarily as a bad person.
I just at the moment I work so hard coming from my family tree, my grandfather, things of that nature. I'm still no excuse. Supposed to handle
People
Harris
versus
is
Darius
admitting
Harris.
something important here. He knows the reaction was wrong, but
Bridget
he's
Coons on
explaining
behalf
the
of Mr.
emotional
Harris.
trigger behind it. That doesn't erase the
State your name
conduct,
for the
but
record.
accepting
Darius
responsibility can matter enormously
Your
in
Honor,
a
this time and
sentencing
date set
hearing.
up for sentencing.
Now, the
I
judge
have
is about
reviewed
to
the
offer some
pre-sentence
very personal
investigation with the
advice that
client.
goes
We have
far
no
beyond the
material
usual
changes,
courtroom
additions, or
language.
omissions.
conduct yourself in a certain way in public. I work hard not to be called that. I work hard not to be looked upon that. I'm a very smart young man. I'm a CNC programmer and CNC operator. And when I was called that, it just kind of got under my skin. But that's not the way you handle stuff, and I understand that. I know that. Just not the way you handle
You
it.
knew that before it happened.
And I just let it get under my skin. Wasn't
Yeah.
the right way.
And I'll just say this to you. You know, when I took this position probably almost a quarter century ago, God, that sounds weird. But Emily was here with me. She was 5. But you just, one of the things I learned real quick, and I knew it because of how I was raised, people are going to call you all kinds of things, right? And so I just developed this saying in my mind: you can call me whatever you want as long as you call it with respect, right? I don't let those words and those things get under my skin. And the reason is because whoever is saying that to me doesn't know me. And the only way, right? You know what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And since you don't know me, you can't really say that about me. And the only way I let that get under my skin is if at any given moment I begin to think that about myself, and I will never, ever think that about myself.
Yes, sir.
So I'm telling you, young man, don't ever let that get under your skin, because that's not you,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
You weren't raised that way. And I dare say this, because I know it. Your ancestry does not dictate that that's you.
Yes, sir.
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
People
This
versus
is one of
Darius
the most
Harris.
powerful moments of the hearing. Instead of simply
Bridget Coons
lecturing
on
him
behalf
about
of Mr.
punishment,
Harris.
the judge is trying to change the way
State your
Harris
name for the
sees the
record.
situation.
Darius Harris.
The message is clear.
Your
Other
Honor, this
people's
time and date set
insults
up for
don't have to
sentencing.
control
I
your
have
actions.
reviewed the
But the
pre-sentence
big question
investigation
is,
with the
will
client.
Harris
We have no
actually carry
material
that lesson
changes,
with him
additions,
after
or
leaving this
omissions
courtroom?
at this time.
And I know your people told you that too. So all I'm doing is repeating everything they told you. Right?
Yes, sir.
And I'm just sharing with you what my mama taught me. And she was the smartest woman in the world, ever, always was, and there always will be. People
And
versus
now the
Darius
emotional
Harris.
conversation is over. The judge is moving to the actual
Bridget
sentence.
Coons on behalf of Mr.
Harris
Harris.
is not being sent straight to jail, but this is
State your name
definitely
for the
not a
record.
free pass.
Darius Harris.
The court is imposing a
Your Honor,
deferred
this time
sentence
and date
along
set
with
up for
financial
sentencing. I have
obligations,
reviewed the
probation
pre-sentence
conditions, anger
investigation with the
management,
client. We have
substance
no material
restrictions, and
changes,
strict
additions,
behavioral
or omissions.
requirements.
At this
One
time, we would
violation could
ask the court
change the
to adopt the
situation very
recommendation.
quickly.
Got it?
Yes, sir.
Because you don't need to be here. Right?
Turn right.
No, I know. But you don't need to be here. Not for something like this. We're better people than that.
Yes, sir.
It's really simple. Sense of the court. Sense of the court. I'm going to place you on 6 months prosecutor deferred sentence. I'm going to order $555 fines and court costs. I'm waiving all of those costs except 125 of those costs. Probation oversight fees would then be reduced because of the probationary period to $180. When do you think you can get all that paid, young man?
I was trying to pay it today. My check and direct deposit first thing in the morning. I get paid. Yes,
Get it paid by this Friday, the 1st.
sir.
There should be no use of alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal substance. You'll be subject to random testing as requested by probation. You are to complete an anger management class. You're to do that within 60 days. You're not to have any contact with Joseph Brendanetz directly or indirectly. No going to the Kroger at 3200 Carpenter Road, Ypsilanti, Michigan. No assault or threatening or intimidating behavior. You're not to possess any weapon, firearm, ammunition, or anything fashioned to be a weapon. You're to report to probation as directed by probation, including any home visits. You're to maintain employment with verification to probation. I'll set a review hearing that's to be held February 12th, 2000. Well, actually, that's going to change the day. Miss Clara.
Oh, 6 months, sorry, Your Honor.
It's okay. The review date will be August 14th, 2024, 9 a.m. I'll order 93 days in jail that is suspended. Out there, just act like the prince that you are, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Case of People versus Stephen Ruggs.
Good morning, Sylvana Reed, Assistant Public Defender with and on behalf of Mr. Ruggs.
All right. This is going to be a waiver.
That is correct.
Mr. Ruggs, you signed this examination waiver?
Yes, I did, sir.
You understand that a preliminary examination is a proceeding where the people would have to show by probable cause that the offense alleged was committed and that you committed it.
Yes, sir.
And you understand that you'll not have that hearing and that you'll proceed to circuit court for further resolution.
Yes, sir.
People also waive their right. Preliminary examination having been waived, defendant is bound over to circuit court on count 1 with 2 following. Street.
Thank you. We would acknowledge receipt of the information, waive any further reading, and stand mute.
Defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute, court will enter a not guilty plea. Pretrial will be set for
27th at 1:30 before Judge Slate Thursday.
June 27, 2024, 1:30 Slade Thursday. Bond with its conditions will continue. Thank you. Yes.
Report the note in my file from the other APA group that you saw in violation review, that's today.
Yeah.
I have the May 17th, 2024 bond violation report.
I do. Is there a reason why you were missing? You were testing elsewhere, weren't you?
No, sir. I was told that I needed a court order, and I was on video Zoom with you on my last court order, and nobody contacted me and told me where to go.
Why didn't they?
I do have information about a facility that he would like to test at. He lives in Macomb County. We
Yeah, I'm on GPS. Oh, I'm sorry.
called them and they indicated as long as the order indicates what sort of panel needs testing and the frequency.
Well, that was supposed to be done before. If I give you a test today, are you gonna test?
The only thing I'm gonna fail for would be marijuana. Your Honor.
Why are you using that?
Can I speak freely?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm gonna be upfront honest with you. I used to have a crack cocaine addiction, and I've come a long way. I've been through a lot, this past few months. I lost my father, my grandmother. And there's no excuses. It's just the only thing that I've helped to.
Give me an order. Okay, he's gonna go over to community corrections test today. I'll get the results and then I'll determine what his bond will be as he proceeds up, because he's told me what's gonna happen, and then we'll figure out. In the meantime, council can prepare an order so that he can test in Macomb. People versus
Now we
Darius
move into a
Harris.
completely different case, and the tone changes
Bridget
fast.
Coons on behalf of
Stephen
Mr.
Ruggs has
Harris.
already waived his preliminary examination
State your
and
name
is
for the
dealing
record.
with bond
Darius
conditions.
Harris.
But what happens next
Your
could
Honor,
be
this
far
time and
more
date set up for
serious than the
sentencing. I
original
have reviewed
procedural
the
hearing.
pre-sentence
The
investigation.
court is
with
about
the
to hear
client.
something
We
that
have no
raises a
material
major
changes,
question
additions,
about
or
whether he followed
omissions.
the
At
conditions
this time,
of
we
his
would ask
release.
the court to
Thank you,
Okay.
Your Honor. And then just to be clear for the record, the waiver is complete and we're only coming back on whether or not he'll be remanded.
Pardon?
The waiver's all set now.
Well, technically, no.
Got it.
Because, technically to retain jurisdiction, but I still have jurisdiction anyway. So he needs to go over and test, and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's coming back in. Oh, boy. It's gonna be that day. She said you're under, and then. What's wrong?
I just bring surprises.
Yeah,
Is that file still in the courtroom? Correct?
pardon?
Is that file still in the courtroom?
All right, she's sitting here right with me.
We could recall it whenever you have the opportunity. That'd be wonderful.
I want to court recalls case. People versus Ruggs. People versus
This is the
Darius
moment
Harris.
everything falls apart for Ruggs. The court has
Bridget
just
Coons
heard
on
that he
behalf
was
of
sitting
Mr.
beside
Harris.
and speaking with the alleged domestic
your name
violence
for the
victim,
record.
despite
Darius
being
Harris.
told not to have contact with
Your Honor,
her.
this time and date set
At
up
this
for
point, the
sentencing.
judge
I
is no
have
longer
reviewed the
focused on the
pre-sentence
testing issue. The
investigation with
alleged
the
bond
client.
violation
We have no
has taken
material
center
changes,
stage.
additions,
So
or
what do you
omissions.
think?
At
Was
this time, we
revoking
would
his
ask the
bond the
court
right
to
call?
adopt the recommendation.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nicole Hughes on behalf of the people.
Sylvana Reed, Assistant Public Defender with and on behalf of Mr. Ruggs.
As we were walking out of the courtroom, I went to release the deputy who was present. I did not believe that the victim of the domestic violence was present today because she didn't check in with us. As we were leaving, the deputy let me know that the victim was actually present today with the defendant sitting beside him. As we exited into the hallway so that I could see who the deputy was referring to, the defendant was speaking to Ms. Perkins out in the hallway, and the deputy confirmed that that is the victim. There, as I understand it, based on everything that's filed, there's a no contact order. In that, in addition to the corrections violation, I'm requesting that he be remanded and that his bond be revoked.
That's not my problem. She was in court.
Mr. Allen, thank you, sir.
Your Honor, I have no further information at this time.
Does he admit to the violation?
You're on. My speak.
If you wish.
She wasn't here with me today, Your Honor.
Were you talking to her in the hallway?
She made a comment to her in the hallway. We were talking to her about testing, and I said something that I didn't.
Were you sitting next to each other in the courtroom? You know I can get video from the courtroom.
Oh, yeah, I
So-
understand that. Yeah, she was sitting next to me.
You're not to have contact with her. You know that. Forget the testing. Defendant's bond at this time is revoked. Defendant's remanded. It'd just go up before Judge Slay. I'll just leave it there.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
This courtroom session ended with two very different outcomes. Darius Harris accepted responsibility for his conduct and explained that a racial slur had triggered his reaction, but he also acknowledged that it was no excuse for how he behaved. The judge responded with a remarkably personal message about not allowing other people's words to define you, before imposing a 6-month prosecutorial deferred sentence, financial obligations, probation requirements, anger management, substance restrictions, and a suspended 93-day jail term. Then came Stephen Ruggs. His preliminary examination was waived, and the case moved towards circuit court, but the situation became much more serious when the court learned he had apparently been sitting beside and speaking with the alleged domestic violence victim despite a no-contact order. The judge revoked his bond and remanded him. The key lesson in both cases is that courtroom decisions often turn on conduct after the original allegations, not just what happened initially. Harris was given an opportunity to prove he could comply with strict conditions, while Ruggs lost his release after the court heard evidence suggesting a direct violation of his conditions. Which moment stood out to you most? The judge's powerful advice to Harris, or the sudden bond revocation in Ruggs' case? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like if you want more real courtroom breakdowns, share this video, and subscribe for more cases where one courtroom decision can change everything.